and welcome back to the Woldenburn YouTube channel. My name is Emily and I am so glad that you are here today. I believe this is episode 58 of the Woldenburn Podcast. This is a knitting and crafting podcast where I just kind of talk about, it's primarily knitting, but sometimes there will be some sneaky bits of sewing, a little spinning occasionally, and just other odds and ends of crafts that I love to do. If this is your first time here, my name is Emily, as I said, and I am coming to you from Kentucky in the United States, where I live with my husband and our two beautiful little boys. I'm a stay-at-home mom, and I am kept very, very busy taking care of my two little boys, and I just try to get all of the crafting in that I can in the spare moments in the day. And yeah, I think that's about it as far as an introduction for now. If you would like to find me other places on the internet, I'm primarily pretty much only on YouTube. I am no longer active on Instagram. I do have a blog that I am trying to be a little bit more regular on, but sitting down to write takes a lot of time. But I will have that blog link down below, and I also, if you're not familiar, I have a books and reading YouTube channel, which is called Woldenburn Reads. That will be linked down below, and there I talk about all of the books that I love reading, because reading is my other primary hobby. I love reading, and if I can knit and read at the same time, heavenly. But yeah, so how are you all doing? I hope that you are doing so well. We were having a beautiful rainy spring day. My husband has taken our boys out. They're doing a little father and son's errand at the tool store, which is just delightful for both my boys. They are very into tools, and so I thought I would snatch the opportunity and go ahead and film, but it is a bit gloomy today, so hopefully the lighting will work out in our favor. So yeah, I am not wearing any knitwear today. I could maybe wear a fingering weight vest or a fingering weight sweater, but probably not. We're kind of past that season for this year. But I am wearing something that I sewed. This is a dress that I made. I don't have any pictures of it just yet, but maybe by the time I get to editing this, I will have some pictures of it. But yeah, I just finished this like last week, I think, and it is really lovely and cozy, and I'm thrilled to have another new dress. As far as finished objects go, I technically have 3. Yeah, we're going to start with the most fun one first. I have finished my Sollas Tee. This is a pattern by Rebecca of the Crochet podcast, and I was test knitting this one for her. This was my final test knit that I have done, and it's done. And I'm so pleased with it. It has turned out so beautifully. I also do not yet have pictures of this, but I'm hoping that by the time, again, that I'm editing this, I can get my husband to take some pictures of it for me, and I'll be able to pop them up along the side, and some B-roll of me wearing it, but oh, I'm so happy with it. So, last time we spoke, I had the body done, and I had blocked it, and I thought that it was long enough. And then I was working away on the sleeves, and I very, very quickly realized that I did not have nearly enough of my main color of yarn, which I guess I should back up a little bit and say this is Night Bright Yarn Co. in the Coral Reef colorway, and I believe this pinky bit that I had to add in was Starfish, I think. I realized very quickly that I did not have enough of the main color to make the sleeves as long as I wanted, and I think I mentioned this in another one of my videos, I don't remember which one, that I'm realizing short sleeved fingering weight tops are just not particularly practical for me. I don't know if it's just because I tend to run warmer or just the place that I live. I can't really wear short sleeve fingering weight sweaters because they're either too cold because I don't have the long enough sleeves, or they're too hot because it's just too warm. And so I found that I have one other fingering weight sweater that I can actually wear that has long sleeves now, and I wore that so much. It was like the perfect layer. It wasn't too warm, it was just right over like the fall and winter when it was on the warmer days. Not like on the freezing cold days, but on the warmer days. And it was just amazing. And so I'm really trying to make sure that if I knit something that's fingering weight, it has sleeves. So all that being said, I grabbed this other colorway, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna see if I can incorporate that in a way that will not look too obvious. And I am thrilled with how it came out. Like, you can kind of see that it gets pinkier about from here down, but it's fairly subtle. It just looks like the yarn got pinker, and that was because I just started striping. I do one row in the coral reef colorway, one row in the pink, and then when I got down to the end, I used up all of the basically, I had taken the yarn that I had left once I finished the body and split it into 2 balls, one for each sleeve. So I used up all of the ball of the main color that I had, and then I knit I think like 3 or 4 rows of the pink, and then finished it off with the cuff. And thankfully the cuffs were supposed to be pretty short, so that worked out really well. Well, I got done with the sleeves, and I still had some of the pink left, and I was just looking at it, and I was like, I tried it on again. I was like, I hate to have to do it, but the body just needs to be longer. It just does. And I think it's just because it is such a perfectly, beautifully fitting sweater that it just needs that extra length to sit where I need it to. So I ripped out where it was, and you can kind of still see a little bit of difference. Maybe I can see it in real life, but I think it was like right up here was where the body ended before. And so I knit that much more of the body, and then I had just enough of this pink colorway to work, I think, like 3 rounds. So I did, you know, main color pink, main color pink, main color pink. I had just enough, and then I did the rib, and then I bound off, and I think I took a picture of it. I had like that much left. Like, it was just perfect. I used up every last bit of that pink, which was a scrap from another project, and I have a tiny little nub. I think I do actually still have this here. I should peek up another project. Yes. So this is all that I have left of the main color. So pleased with that. Technically, I would have liked the sleeves to be just a smidge longer, but honestly, they hit it. I think they're kind of like mid forearm, which is fine for me. I think I've talked about that before, that I generally prefer slightly shorter sleeves, just in my day-to-day life, so I don't have to be constantly shoving the sleeves up. But yeah, I'm so happy with it. And honestly, I'm kind of glad that I ended up ripping out the body and then doing the rib in the pink, because now it looks like it was a very intentional thing rather than like running out of yarn. So now there's all the like pink edgings. I think it's so cute. But yeah, I'm super, super, super pleased with this. It fits to perfection. Oh, I forgot to mention, I knit size 3 with the F cup bust shaping. So you can kind of see down here, whoop, where is it? That there is this line of decreases here. You work extra increases up here at the top, but you can kind of see that it's like sort of rippling the fabric a little bit, but when it's on, it's not noticeable. And yeah, this one, it has that, I don't exactly know what the term is, but it's like the contiguous, no, I don't think it's contiguous. It's a specific technique for working a set end sleeve, but you're able to work it in the round, so it's very, very similar to working a raglan. And the fit is just brilliant. It's so good. This is supposed to be a little bit more positive ease than mine has. I definitely have negative ease over the full bust. However, this portion up here fits so well. So I'm very pleased with it. I am considering trying to possibly do another version, go up a size, and I don't know, I go back and forth. Maybe do like the D cup bust shaping, so it's a little bit less bust shaping, but go up a size, and just see if I could get a slightly looser fit, because I love how all of this fits. But I think that it would be nice for a, I don't know, I feel like very fitted sweaters are a little bit fancier, and so if I had one that was a little bit looser, that it might be a little bit easier for layering and stuff, but I don't know, I'm very, very pleased with how that turned out. So the second finished object, well, that used up 237 grams of yarn, which is lovely. And I'm so happy to have those yarns out of my stash because I've been wanting to knit with the coral reef colorway for ages. I've had it for almost 3 years now, and I just couldn't decide on what project to knit it into, and so I'm so thrilled that I now have a finished sweater. The next finished object I have is my scrappy crochet basket. I love this thing so much. I've been using it a ton. Like, I've been using it as like a carry my other projects and yarns and stuff around. I take it outside with me and sit it next to my chair when I'm outside with my boys. And it is just, I'm slightly addicted to these baskets now. I just love it so much. And my third finished project is another one. Like I said, I have absolutely loved making these. They have been so fun and like mindless, and oh, I so enjoy them. These are based off of a blog post by My Pocket Makes. I will have that link down below. It's like a free pattern. I honestly hardly referred to the pattern once I kind of glanced over it. It's very, very simple. And I made it using multiple strands of mostly 100% acrylic yarn held together. I think like here you can see this like pinky color here, this fuchsia. That I think was a wool, and there's a couple other that were either wool blends or that felt like they were wool. So it's just kind of a mix of everything, but it's mostly 100% acrylic. And I used I think it's in here because I started another one. I just can't resist. Like, I love them so much. They're so fun, and I love the fact that I am using up yarn, but like, it's not just for the sake of using it up. It kind of is and it kind of isn't. Like, I love the fact that it uses so much yarn. This one used 680 grams of yarn. And I love that it's using up some of these acrylic yarns, but I also just love the process of making it. It has been delightful. I can't think of any other way to put it. Like, I have loved it so much. But I've been using an 8mm hook. And this is just from a set that I got off of Amazon for Christmas a couple years ago. And this is just the beginnings of the next one, which is getting kind of blown out. But, one of the most fun things about making these has been finding new color combinations of yarn that I realize that I absolutely love. So like here, this like, I don't know, greeny, bluish teal color combined with like pink, I think is absolutely gorgeous. I guess in this bag there's a few more that I was like, ooh, I really like that. This one so I finished that one. I was like, oh, you know what? I'm going to make a second one to put, you can kind of see behind me over here. My sons have a bunch of wood train tracks. They love them. I've found a couple of amazing deals at our local thrift store, and I've gotten like a giant tub of train tracks. And so they have all of the like, oops, these things. These are actually from Walmart. They're like $2.50, and they have like 6 different kinds of vehicles, so great deal. I think we have at least one of all of them. We have probably like 30 different train things, and so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna make one of these basket things, because the basket that I have was it was included in a gift from somebody, and you can kind of see it down here, that right there. It has been well trampled. And so it's seen some better days. And so I was like, you know what, I'm going to make one of these basket things for it. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller than my first one, and that'll be great. Well, this one ended up even bigger than the first one. It's huge. This one used 700 and something grams, like 710 grams, I think, of acrylic yarns. And it was so fun, one, seeing all the different color combinations. Like, I love this mix right here of like this steely blue and the gray and the mustard. I actually really like this, like, the light color is like a minty, it's the same, well, you can't really see it on the top here, but there's like a minty color, and the orange and like the green. I love that color combination. This one here with the mint and the mustard and the green is beautiful. I don't love this one quite as much, but I'm happy to use it up. And yeah, it was just like working through it. I was like, ooh, I really like this color combination and this color combination. Blue and orange is one of my favorite color combos, and so I'm not surprised that I ended up liking a lot of them in here. And the really nice thing is that the green, you can kind of see on the bottom, the green thread that's running through here, it's greenish brownish. That was a Sirdar jewel spun that I bought several years ago, probably 3.5. It was like, we bought it when we were at a wedding when my baby, my oldest son was a month old, and I bought it and I knit him a sweater out of it, and I had like half of the skein left because they were pretty big balls. I can't remember if they were 100 grams or if they were like 200 grams. I don't remember for sure. I had like half of it back left, and it was a single ply yarn, and I just really didn't know what to do with it. And so I was thinking about knitting another sweater for one of my nephews, but then I was like, I don't really want to, because it was not the most enjoyable to knit with. And I like the sweater that I made with it. It has worked out really well. It's like a good play sweater, because I really don't care if it gets absolutely trashed, because it's just grays and green, or browns and greens, and so it's like it doesn't show anything, but it definitely has a very plasticky feel, which is not my favorite. And so I was gathering together stuff for this, and I was like, I'm gonna put that in a scrappy basket. Oh, I just realized I have a stitch marker in here. And it worked out so nicely. I used every bit of it up, and I am thrilled to have that out of my stash. I think it was all the way up to there. So I was able to do the whole bottom and like 6 inches of the side. So this one ended up much bigger than the other one, and I have decided that it's now going to live in my son's room and be filled with stuffed animals, which would be great, because I had a like wooden, it's like a magazine basket thing that I got from the thrift store, and they would climb up on top of that to get to other stuff, and so I'm gonna be glad to get that out of the room. So that's gonna be the stuffed animal bucket, and it's kind of been dragged around a few times already, but absolutely love these. And I am, as you saw, working on another one. I can see myself knitting or crocheting some for gifts. Like, I already had the thought, I was like, ooh, these would make great gifts for some of my sisters or my sisters-in-law. And I have plenty of acrylic yarn left. So this one, I'm not sure yet. I love this color combination so much. It's getting very blown out, but I absolutely love it. Nope, still blown out. So we'll see. I'm not sure if this is going to be another one that I will claim for myself, or if this one will end up being the train track or the train engine basket. But yeah, so those are the finished objects that I have. And since I have completed all of my test knits, I ended up pulling out some old works in progress, which I am so excited about. Like, I mentioned last time I was working on my circle cardigan again. I worked on that a little bit more, like a few rows here and there, but then I pulled out some other stuff, and so I'm not going to show that one today because it hasn't gotten enough work to really be worth sharing. I pulled out my Rougeau, and I have been working away on that. I'm not really going to pull it out and show you because I am in the process of filming the next vlog for that project. I should be able to finish that vlog up today or tomorrow and then get it edited, and it will probably come out either just before this video has come out or just after. So I'm not going to go into that because all the details are in my Rougeau knitting series. But I've pulled that back out, which has been great. I am officially done with the color work on that project, and I am absolutely thrilled. So I've been working on that, and then I pulled out I did pull out my Crumb sweater or Crumb cardigan by Anders Satterlund. I worked a little bit on that, but my needle, the interchangeable needle piece right here, the cord popped out of the metal there, and so I need to glue that back in. So I worked on that just a tiny bit, not enough to really show. And then I pulled out my retroactive pullover, which this is the one that has been getting, the Rougeau has been getting the most work, if I'm honest, other than the crochet baskets have been getting the most work, and then the Rougeau, and then this. And I put a little bit more work on it. It's hard to really see that it's anything at all right now, but I am just loving this. I'm so happy to be back with this. Like the circle cardigan, I have thought about this project probably the most of all of my whips. It's been the circle cardigan and this one. And I'm just thrilled to be working on it again. Like, this is the Retroactive Polo, which is by Turquoise Toque Designs. The designer's name is Jennifer. I can't remember her second name. It is a beautiful sweater that is worked sideways. And so this right here will go over my shoulder like this. I'm currently working on, this will be the side that it's on. This is on the right side. And then I have to work a bit more. And then you stop and you separate and you work the back portion. And then you stop and you come back to the front and you work the front portion. Then you rejoin it and then knit this other side. And then when you get to that point, you stop, you seam up the sides. But you can't, again, because it's stuck in it, it's curling so much. But if I go like this, you can kind of see. You seam up this seam, the side seams, and then you pick up and knit long sleeves or short sleeves, whichever you prefer. And you do ribbing at the bottom, and then you do an I-cord finish at the neckline. It's a beautiful sweater. My other version is the one that I was talking about that I got a bunch of wear out, and I absolutely love it. It's such an interesting sweater construction, and it's not my favorite working stockinette flat. However, something about this project is just so fun. I found with my first one that I really didn't mind it, and it actually kind of flew off the needles in a way. And so I'm already thinking about a third version. We shall see. But yeah, my battery light is flashing. Let me change that quickly, and then we'll talk about the yarn and needles and that fun stuff. Okay, I'm back. I'm pretty sure that I'm knitting this on US size 3 or 3.25 millimeter needles. That seems to be my like perfect fingering weight and needle combination. I knit my Sollas Tee on US size 3s or 3.25 millimeter needles. And it seems to give me a really nice fabric. I can't remember if my gauge matches the pattern off the top of my head, but this is, for this one, I basically am just replicating everything that I did for my first version. So, yeah. I'm knitting the 4th size. Yes, the 4th size. And I am using Knitty McPurly yarn it was a One Pot Wonder from August 2024, and it's on the Frankfurt fingering base, which is a 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, 415 yards to 100 grams. And I have 3 balls of this, which should be more than enough to knit long sleeves and everything. So, super pleased with that, super happy with how that's coming along. I'm just so excited to be getting back to it and working on it again and working on some of my other projects. I guess this will kind of go into a little bit of knitting plans because that is all. Well, no, that's not. I have one more. This isn't a project bag. I made myself. I've kind of been in a little bit of project bag making phase. I've bought so many cute little fabrics over the last few years to make project bags with, and so I'm finally trying to actually make some. This was a ribbon that I got from Hobby Lobby. They do actually still have like yardage, like this is still available as yardage, and I'm very, very tempted to get enough to make a dress because it's pink and floral and teacups. Like, could you get any cuter? And so I was sewing this to make the bag, and I was like, oh man, I'm gonna have to get some for a dress, but we'll see if that happens. This is another quite old languishing whip. And I've had this kind of. I started making this because Amy from Noble Character Crafts last summer. Ooh, was this 2 years ago? Was this from 2024? It might have been. I don't remember now. I can't remember if I was pregnant and I was using this as a waiting for baby project or if this was from last summer. I don't remember. She made a scrappy crochet bag, and I absolutely love the look of it. And so I have a bunch of scraps of cotton yarn, and I decided that I wanted to make one. And so this is basically where it's been at. I looked up a tutorial for how to make an oval, and then when it got about as big as I wanted it to, I did one round of working single crochets in the back loop only, and then just worked flat with no increases. And this is about where it's been. Yesterday I did where this pink starts here at the top all around. Added in some yellow and blue. So I didn't even do a full round yesterday, but I pulled it back out because I want to work on it, and I keep randomly thinking about this one. And then I have a few different little balls of cotton, 100% cotton. This is all, I love this cotton from Hobby Lobby. I really love this cotton yarn. It is really soft and it's a little fuzzy. I've made blankets, baby blankets for both of my boys out of it, and I do notice that initially it pills quite a bit, but once that initial phase is over, it's fine. And they're soft and lovely and have the nicest weight to them. So I'm planning to do that for all of our kids, Lord willing, we have more. But yeah, so I pulled this one back out and I'm hoping to work on it a bit more. I'm using a 5mm hook, which I think is an H, but this one doesn't have the H on it. So, and this is another one from the same set from Amazon. So that is all the whips. And so a little bit of knitting plans. Right now, my hope is to get my Rouge sweater done. If I could get that done in April, that would be amazing. My April stash stats are going to look phenomenal. With these baskets that I've got done, I did have one acquisition, but I don't know. I kind of want to talk about it, but I kind of don't want to talk about it. We'll see. I'll think about it, and then we'll see if I talk about it in this video. But I want to get the Rouge sweater done. And then once I get the Rouge sweater, I'm going to cast completed. I'm going to cast on the Stria cardigan by Andrea Mowry out of the Holskarn Super Soft, which I'm very, very excited about. I can't wait to start that project. And then I think I'm going to try and finish up probably one or two of my other whips, and then I'm going to cast on the Cloud. I always forget this. It's like Cloud Break, Cloud something Tee by Woldenburn Designs. It's a pretty new pattern. It came out like a few weeks ago now, and I bought it immediately because I just thought it was gorgeous. Cloud Break Tee, which is, there you go. It's beautiful. You can't, well, let me try not to brighten this on my phone, and that might help. I usually keep my phone pretty dim, but there you go. You kind of see it's getting blown out a bit, but it has this gorgeous lace detail, like feather and fan detail at the bottom. I just love it. I want to cast that one on imminently. I'm not exactly 100% sure when, but, and then the other one, or the other garment that I would like to cast on very, very soon. I don't exactly know how it's pronounced. Does it have a pronunciation? No, it's another pattern by Albina McLaughlin, and it is this gorgeous garter stitch vest, and I absolutely love it. My plan is I'm going to use all of my scraps of 100% non-superwash wool, worsted weight wool that I have left over once the Rouge is done. I have a bunch of different odds and ends of balls and some other ones in my stash, and so I was like, that would be absolutely perfect to make like a scrappy garter vest. You can't really see it very well, but I'll have the pattern linked down below. It is so beautiful. I honestly absolutely love the yarn that this sample is knit in, because it's in a tweed. Let me see if I can kind of show you, but it's got like the colorful flecks. It's not, you can kind of see it. Gorgeous. Absolutely love it. So that one's one that I want to cast on very soon. I want to cast on a pair of socks. I'm feeling an itch for knitting socks. Like, what on earth? I think it's because I've been watching a lot of Kirsty from Kirsty Knits and Sews and Shauna from Shauna Stitches, and I've gone back now and I'm watching a bunch of Shauna's old podcast videos. Hi Shauna. I'm not stalking you, I promise. I love all of the projects that she works on. It's so fun to hear her talking about them. And so I was like, ooh, I need to go back in time to before I knew that Shauna existed and watch some of her old podcasts. So I've been doing that. And so she talks a lot about socks, and Kirsty talks a lot about socks, and it's made me want to knit some socks. And I have like, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 different balls of sock yarns that I bought when I was kind of in a sock knitting kick, and I'm gonna try. I haven't loved how my vanilla socks have been fitting, and so I'm gonna try and do some patterned socks, which is not usually what I do. I tend to do vanilla socks because I want just the mindless, simple, easy knitting. But I think if I do, I'm gonna try the blueberry waffle socks pattern. Shauna talks a lot about that one, and I've wanted to knit that one for so long. It was actually one of like the second or third pair of socks that I wanted to try, and then I just chickened out because I realized it was a DK weight pattern, and at the time I'd only knit like 2 or 3 pairs of socks and had no idea how to adjust it, and it was right at the beginning, and so I've wanted to knit it ever since then and just kind of forgot about it. So I really want to do that one. And I'm just itching to cast on some socks, and I'm just really looking forward to it. And then I want to go through all of my whips, all my works in progress, and I think there's a couple I'm going to be frogging and just getting those off of my plate. And then at some point here, I'm so excited. There's a new pattern called the Seamless Scrap Dress, I think is what it is. I've been calling it like the Scrappy Seamless Dress or the Seamless Scrappy Dress, but I think it's the Seamless Scrap Dress. I don't remember the designer's name. I'll try and pop a picture up here. It is gorgeous. I love it. I have actually just recently been trying to find a dress pattern. Kirsty from Kirsty Knits and Sews, she made a dress with an advent like 2 years ago. I think it was in 2024. I could be wrong. I don't remember exactly. But she made a dress out of one of her advents, and it was so cute. And I'd never really thought about knitting a dress before until I saw that one, because a lot of times the dresses that I've seen that are knit, they're pretty figure-hugging, form-fitting type dresses. And that's not my style at all. I don't like things that cling. And so then I saw that one that Kirsty had knit, and I was like, oh, that one's really lovely. It's so simple, and it wasn't like super flowy and whatnot, but it like went out from the hips. It wasn't like clinging to everything. And I actually really loved it. And so once I saw that, I was like, ooh, that could be really fun to try and make a dress. And so then I'd kind of been looking here and there, and I had done some Ravelry searches and stuff. And then Shauna from Shauna Stitches shared about this dress on, it might have been on the Mystery Knitalong podcast. That might have been when she talked about it. And I was like, that's it. That's perfect. That's exactly what I've been looking for. It's fitted on the top, but it has a flowy skirt. I really, really, really want to knit that. And so I just have to go through and assess my scraps and see if I have enough scraps, because the thing that I'm running into is I really don't want to have a million ends to weave in at the end. And so what I really want to be able to do is just use scrap yarns and then just do the Russian join for all of them, and just make like like the magic knot balls, but a Russian join ball. And just knit and knit and knit and knit on the skirt and just have a blast. And so I really, really want to do that, but I've got to kind of assess my stash and see what I've got in the way of scraps and things. And I think before I delve into that, I need to finish off a few other of these projects. So yeah, that's kind of my knitting plans, what I'm looking forward to and hoping to get cast on. And I'm just, I love knitting so much, and I feel like March was a bit of a downer month because I was making myself finish these test knits, and they're all done. And so like the freedom and lightness that I feel now is just ridiculous. And I've been wanting to do all the things. I have been working on a little bit of spinning with my drop spindle, and I feel like I'm like actually getting it now, which is just amazing. When I first started trying to do the drop spindle, it was a really bad day, and my toddler kept getting up from his nap, and I was just so angry and frustrated that it wasn't going the way that it was supposed to be doing. I felt like I was ruining a bunch of the fiber, and it just, oh, it so irked me. I was so ticked off at it. And so then I put it away, and I was like, it's clearly not the day for this. And so then I think it was like maybe almost a month later, I pulled it back out and I was like, okay, try this again. Shauna had sent me a couple of videos of her doing it, and for whatever reason that really helped it click a bit more. And then Kirsty had also mentioned that like pre-drafting it, and so because I was having trouble getting the fiber to like separate, and so it was so thick, and I don't want to spin thick yarn. I don't use thick yarn. I need like fingering weight, maybe DK weight yarn. And so I was trying to get it thinner, and it just wasn't working. And so Shauna had sent some stuff to me, which was super helpful. Thank you, Shauna. And then Kirsty has also recommended like pre-drafting it, and so I was like, okay, I'm gonna give this another try, and I'm not gonna try and video or anything. I'm just gonna give it a try. And so I did it, and it worked so much better. And then my kids got sick, and so then I didn't touch it for like 6 weeks. And then last week I think I picked it back up again because I really, really, really want to try and do some Tour de Fleece this year. I think that would just be so fun. And I love watching Shauna's vlogs of Tour de Fleece. They're just delightful. And so I really want to get good enough that I can actually do Tour de Fleece this year. And so I was like, you know what, if I want to do that, then I need to work on it now. I need to get it back out and try and like consistently do it. And so I've worked on it 2 or 3 times here, and I feel like I'm starting to get it. Like I feel like I'm starting to be able to like do it a little bit better. Very basic, very simple. A lot of park and draft where you spin the spindle and then like sit it somewhere and kind of get the twist to go up. I have no idea if I'm twisting it enough or what, but it's actually looking not super consistent, but fairly consistent. And you know what? I keep talking about this. I'm making a vlog about it. So I didn't want to go too much into depth with it, but I'm gonna run get it, and I'm gonna show it to you. And I guess I'll get my other acquisition. This is gonna be a long video, guys. Hopefully you're here for it, but let me go get that because I just want to show you really quick. Like not too much because again, I'm making a vlog about it, but yeah. Okay, so this is my spindle. I kind of have my next bit of fiber already kind of attached to it, but that is what it is looking like. And if I go to the top, you can kind of see some of this bit here where it was like the earlier on stuff where it's kind of thick and thin, maybe. But then the stuff around the edge is starting to look kind of consistent. Just, now that I have it out, I'm probably going to spin on this a little bit when I get done with this video. But yeah, I'm just using some fiber from Knit Picks, and I'm so happy that it's kind of, I was talking with my husband last night when we were going for our evening walk, and I was like, I finally feel like I'm getting it, and it's not making me angry because I'm so bad at it. Like it's starting to feel a little more natural, so super pleased about that. But I have a little acquisition to share, but this is also kind of leads into life stuff, kind of a life chat. So that's pretty much all of the crafty content that I have. So if that's all you're here for, thank you for watching. I know it's been chatty and all over the place, but yeah, I'm going to talk about a little bit about life update. I've mentioned this a few times on my channel before, and kind of hinted at it, talked about it. I haven't really talked about it in too much detail just because health and weight and trying to get healthy and changing diets and all that stuff, it's hard. It's really hard. And sometimes it's hard to talk about it because it feels, at least for me, it feels like there's nothing that will ever possibly work. And so if something starts working, you don't want to jinx it. Like, I'm not a superstitious person, but there are definitely a few things that I'm a little bit superstitious about. And I don't know what it is, but sometimes I get afraid that if something's going well and successful, and if I talk about it, that it's going to ruin it and everything's going to go wrong. So I haven't talked about it in too much detail. I've kind of hinted at it and talked about it, but basically, long story short, my husband and I would love to have more kids. Like, we would absolutely love to. When I was pregnant with my second, we found out that I was pre-diabetic, and I had that health concern, and we were really worried that I was going to get gestational diabetes with in my second pregnancy, and it was just really, really stressful. And basically, we knew that once the baby was born, I was going to need to lose a significant amount of weight before trying for more kids. And I tried so many things. Like, we got that diagnosis when I was about 18-ish weeks pregnant, somewhere in there, maybe a little bit further on. And so I had to get the gestational diabetes test. So I drastically changed my diet. I cut out all refined sugar and just started using maple syrup and honey. And then I cut out like all white flour, white potatoes, white rice, and like all of those like really high starch content foods. Really drastically did that and started trying to be a bit more active if I could, and it worked. Like, I did not get gestational diabetes. I passed the gestational diabetes test, and I was able to get through the rest of that pregnancy. And then I feel like once I was done being pregnant, we were curious to see if, since I had completely cut out refined sugar, if that would make any significant difference postpartum. And it didn't really. Like, I was kind of slowly losing weight, but not really. And then about a year ago, so a little bit over a year ago, like last February, I started trying a different diet. My dad had recommended a book called Always Hungry. I don't remember who it's by. And that has a really great, mindset plan in it, where basically you're not counting calories and you're just eating until you're full. Like, you actually need to eat a lot. You eat a lot of fat and stuff. And I'm not a doctor. I'm not a health dietitian or anything like that. I have just experimented with a lot of things to try and figure out what works for me. And I tried that. I lost a little bit of weight, but kind of nothing significant. Not enough that I would feel comfortable getting pregnant again. And so it kind of got to the end of last year around November, and my mom was talking about the carnivore diet, and so then I decided to finally try the carnivore diet. My older sister, has a really good friend who had done the carnivore diet very successfully, and it finally helped her with a lot of her thyroid issues. Like, it was the one thing that finally enabled her to lose weight and get a lot healthier. And so she absolutely loved the carnivore diet. So my sister has talked about it a fair amount, because we are a little suspicious that I have some thyroid issues, but I really dislike doctors and hospitals and the whole medical system. And so I'm not willingly going to, like, this sounds really dumb, I know, but I don't really want to go and get like a bunch of tests and stuff done. My hope is that if, Lord willing, I get pregnant again, when they do the initial blood work, I can ask them to check my thyroid stuff, and we'll see how it is from there. But we've had some suspicions that I have some thyroid related issues. And so it was November. We were really hoping at this January of 2026 to start trying for another baby. And so I was like, fine, I will try the carnivore diet. Because I felt like all throughout last year, I kept cutting out different things. I was like, oh, oatmeal seems to be a problem. Not going to eat oatmeal anymore. This other thing, it seemed like every time there was something that I really liked and was enjoying, that seemed to be a problem. And I had to cut that out. And it was so discouraging and depressing and terrible. And I just kind of got to the point in November where I was like, fine, I will just go on this stupid carnivore diet and we will see what happens. And not gonna lie, those first couple of weeks were absolutely horrible. I hated it, every minute of it. But I'm also a weirdly stubborn person, and if I've determined I'm gonna do something, I am gonna do it. Like, I'm gonna do it. And so I did it, and then I think I was like 2 or 3 weeks in, and I started losing some weight, and I was like, oh, okay. And then I lost some more weight and a little bit more weight. And it was like, it actually the first time in my entire life that I have actually successfully seen more than, you know how, especially as women, there's that like cycle fluctuation of weight up and down. Like I've seen that all the time, but this was like significant. And I was like, okay, like it gave me the encouragement that I needed to keep going and keep trying. And it's just been a long process. I think we're, 4 or 5 months in now. And I'm technically doing what's called the dirty carnivore, I think, where I'm doing meat and dairy, basically. It's like animal products, and then I've been doing some honey, because that's technically, it's not really like an animal, but it's a bee. It's an insect or whatever they're classified as. So that is my one cheat treat, and I need that to survive. I need that one happy thing. I'm making some homemade ice cream where it's literally just cream, eggs, half and half, honey, vanilla, and salt. And that is like my one happy food. Because not gonna lie, the carnivore diet is not for the faint-hearted. It has not been fun. It is not enjoyable. I do not want to eat like this for the rest of my life. There have been a lot of miserable days. It has been tough. But like I said, God gave me some stubbornness for a reason, so I've been sticking it out. And there's also the aspect that I really, really do want to have more kids. And so it is really important to me to get as healthy as I can to have more babies. So all of that to say, it's been working, and I kind of had a certain weight threshold that I was like, if I can get underneath this, that would be great. And then I got under that, and I was like, well, maybe I can get under this weight. And so there was one that was kind of like a mythical dream level weight goal where I was like, I don't see this ever happening. Like, this is just, it's never gonna happen. And it happened. And so I had told myself, once we got to that point, I joked with my husband, I was like, if I get under this certain point, that's a yarn credit. And so I finally just barely got under it, and I was like, cool, that's my yarn credit. So that's where the acquisition comes in. I had looked around at a few different things, and also, sorry, my light's getting dim and overcast. There we go. I had looked at a few different places and looked at a few different things and was going back and forth, and then I saw on Knit Picks that they had the Barocco Splash on like a super clearance, and I was like, that's what I want. So I got 13 balls of this colorway. I think does it say in here what color it is? It's like, it's M something. Oh man, does it not have it on here? Oh, it's probably under this, or is that just going to be the color number? Oh, it's not even under there. Okay. I don't remember exactly what it's called. This is a 70% viscose, 30% cotton, and these are 50-gram hanks, and it's 131 yards. And it's in this beautiful blue with pops of color. And I was like, that's perfect. I've been wanting to try and see if I could make like a cotton t-shirt and just see if it is possible to knit something that I could reasonably wear in like the spring and summer and when it's like warmer. And I love this colorway. I love the pops of color. And so I got 13 skeins of it because they were like $4 a skein. And I used, Amy from Noble Character Crafts has a discount code that she's able to use for being in the affiliate program with Knitflix. And so I used her code, so I got a little bit more discounted. So I got 13 hanks of it because I wanted to get enough to potentially make both like a sleeveless top and like a longer sleeve top that if it doesn't work for me to wear in the summertime, I could wear in like the transitional spring and fall. So hopefully I have enough of this to make 2 different tops. I am thinking about making the Cloudborn tee in some of this. I think that'd be really pretty. So we'll see. I haven't completely decided what I'm going to make with it. But this is the other thing that I really do want to cast on very quickly here because, I don't know, it feels special. Like it has not been an easy ride over the last couple of years, almost at this point. Because it was actually, yeah, it was like 2 years ago in March or April. I can't remember. Maybe it was, I think it was March or April that we got the blood result tests back, and I went to the midwife appointment, and they were like, hey, your A1C levels are really high. And it was like just I don't know, it was really tough because there seemed to be a number of different appointments right in there where my husband wasn't able to come, and so like I got that news, and then I'm like crying, calling him, sobbing, and just being like, so apparently I'm pre-diabetic and all this other stuff. And so it was really hard, and it has been a really tough mentally the last couple of years. I'm just trying to get my health in a good spot, trying to get my weight in a good spot. And I've always had issues with like self-consciousness and body, just uncomfortable in my own skin. And I've gotten a lot better as I've gotten older and hopefully wiser. But it's hard. It's so hard. Like all of that stuff is just a struggle. And so it feels really momentous to have been able to push through and get to this point. It's a lot of hard work, and I'm just so grateful. I'm grateful for my husband. He has been absolutely brilliant. Being on the carnivore diet has made it really hard to figure out food for everybody else, and I just don't do well, especially with like the lack of sleep and stuff that I've been struggling with chronically since having kids. But especially in the last like 6 to 8 weeks, it's been really tough with the whooping cough and stuff that my kids had. It's just been a lot, and he's been amazing. He's been so encouraging and so helpful, and just, yeah, I couldn't have done it without his flexibility and whatnot. And so I'm very grateful for that. But it's been a lot mentally. It's been really, really hard. And, you know, I'm at the point now that we're comfortable with me getting pregnant, and it hasn't happened just yet. So we're just trying to hope and pray and just let God's plan be what it needs to be. But that's been a little bit discouraging because it's like, come on, I've done all this work. Like, why am I not pregnant yet? And I know it doesn't work that way, but yeah, it feels very, very special to have hit this point that I frankly never thought that I would see anytime soon. And there's a potential that with, we're working towards weaning my 20-month-old. He's still nursing a few times, mostly in the night, which is contributing to the lack of sleep. We're working towards weaning him, so it is not uncommon when you wean that your body will kind of stop storing the excess fat that it needs to produce milk for the baby. And so there's a potential that if I lose another chunk of weight with that I could get very, very close to my pre-baby pregnancy weight, which would be frankly shocking to me, because I kind of accepted when I got pregnant that I was like never going to be that size and weight ever again, because that just seems to be what happens a lot. But yeah, like we're getting really close to that point, and yeah, I'm just really grateful. I'm really, really grateful. It feels good to finally see progress and finally feel like it's not just, it's an actual genuine health issue, not just I don't have self-control and I'm lazy and if I just wouldn't eat, you know, like who cares if you're hungry? If you just stop eating, then you wouldn't be so fat. Like that sort of like negative stuff. So it does feel very encouraging in a way to know that there is a genuine health issue, and that, at least for now, this seems to be working. Yeah, I've blabbered on about this a lot. Hopefully it's been helpful for somebody. I don't know. I know that a lot of this stuff is just, it's really personal and individual from person to person, and the things that work for some people don't work for other people, but you know, maybe it's encouraging to know that it's, you know, we're kind of all in some sort of relation to health and weight and all of that stuff. We all have something. But yeah, I think that's probably a good enough ramble of life update. But yeah, that's just kind of where we're at. And we're just trying to live life and enjoy our two beautiful boys that we have, and hope and pray for some more children, and, you know, take care of the house and enjoy the spring weather and do all the crafting and just, yeah, live life. My husband has a work trip coming up, so that's going to be a bit intense for a week or so. I think he's supposed to be gone for about 5 days, and that's the first time that it'll be just me with the boys for that length of time, solo parenting. So that's going to be a bit intense, but I think it'll be fine, and they might just have to watch a couple more movies. Yeah, so anyway, I hope that you are all doing well. I hope that you are enjoying some spring weather, or if you're in the southern hemisphere, you're enjoying some autumnal weather. I would love to know what you've been working on, or the things that are bringing you joy, whether that's books or movies or crafting or any of that sort of thing. If you want to hear sort of the books I've been reading recently, you can check out my reading channel, and stay tuned because, like I said, I've got a couple other vlogs coming soon, my Ruju vlog and my spinning vlog. And yeah, thank you so much for watching and being here all the way at the end. I have a feeling this is going to be like an hour-long video, and I'm going to have to edit it all. Oh my goodness. But yeah. Thank you. Thank you for being here, for your comments and your support and all the things, and I will see you on the next one, whenever that ends up being. Bye.